Hey, Will, we're going to be going over a couple things today. Just real quick, probably less than 12 minutes, just to sort of get our foot in the door of this new organization task that we're tackling here. So, this is just to have something to chew on over the weekend. Not necessarily, for you, but for me to start to define some things. That way, by the end of the day, Monday, I can have a more refined version of this. So let's just dive in so we can get into it. Um, so the first thing that we're going to be looking at, we've got a little list here, but we are going to pass right through this just in like 12 minutes. Um, First thing we're going to be going over is something called Will's Eye in the Sky. Okay, so the first component of Will's Eye in the Sky is Google Analytics dashboard. So, and like I said, by EOD Monday, I'll have like all the links for you, and for instance, the second component, I haven't gotten a whole bunch of time to set up accounts yet or anything like that. This is just a presentation. So, what we're looking at here, the first component, the Google Analytics dashboard. So when you come into Analytics here, and I'll give you the link again. Don't worry about, there's nothing you need to click on or look for or research or anything like that. Just wait till the end of day Monday. But this is just to set a precedent or the expectations. Under Home, Customization, Dashboards. Under this dashboard, you can see we're just looking at December 1st to the 14th. We can see that about 75% of our visitors are new. That means new customers. We can see that there's 0 on right now. 447 people have visited the website in this time frame. We got some graphical numbers here. You can see at a glance how much you're running total this month so far. You can see how much you're averaging cost per click. You can see what campaigns are doing what if we add more campaigns. You can see how many total conversions you have through the website. You can see how many conversions come specifically from AdWords. What is the conversion rate looking like? These numbers bounce around as we're getting stabilized, but now you can see all of them in one single place. Okay, so let's get rid of that and keep moving on. Don't look too deep into any of this stuff. I'm just showing it to you at a glance. EOD Monday will have a much more refined version of this, including a document with the links where you need to go with directions and all of that good stuff. So nothing to worry about right now whatsoever. The second component of Will's Eye in the Sky is Trello, and this is all free software and super like lightweight. Trello looks just like this, and I've only been introduced to it. I haven't used it very much in the past. I tried it, and it's really great. You can see all of the projects that we're working on and that we set up, where we're at in the steps, and making comments, and we can communicate and things like that. This way we don't have to like manage the projects between 3 brains in the air. You know what I mean? That way we have it down somewhere, localized in a single place, and we can check on updates and make comments and collaborate, project management. So Trello is the guy there. That is the second component to something called Will's Eye in the Sky, which is very important. It's going to be awesome. The third component is Slack communication. Okay. Now you may think like, why don't we just continue email? Why don't we just continue text? Why don't we just continue phone calls? Why don't we just, you know what I mean? It kind of gets all over the place. The whole world uses Slack. This is what people use in the workplace. So this comes to my phone, this comes to my computer, and it's instant message, so it's immediate. There's no waiting or anything like that. There's no text messaging required or anything like that. This is how we will communicate from here on out. It's faster than email. It's more reliable than text. It's better than calling. Because you know how I like to work, even though I am establishing going to bed at 9, waking up at 5, sure, but this is just better. You know what I mean? For the most part. So you send your message across, and we would have our own private room, and we would have an ongoing chain of text that we could continually go back and refer to, and things like that. So those three components alone that should just change your world. It should make things a lot smoother. You're going to be able to look at all the things involving Google and the website, SEO, AdWords, just traffic coming to the website, no matter, even if it's from Bing and not Google. So you're going to be able to see all kinds of amazing things here. And you're going to be able to see all projects and notes on projects here. And in Slack communication, we're going to be able to stay connected without hopping all over the place and becoming disorganized. And okay, we're on the phone here, but I need to refer to this text message to figure out, which email is under what account. You know what I mean? It's all just one room. It's a one instant messaging room. Okay? So there's that. Let's blow through the rest of this stuff real quick. Like I said, this is just to set the precedent for getting organized. By the end of day, Monday, I'll have links and accounts set up for this. It'll all be easy peasy worked out. Okay, so other software coming down the line, no need to research this, but HubSpot CRM for the B2B book. So taking our B2B book and putting it online, because Q1, month one, we're going to be doing those drops for sure. We're not going to miss it. So that will become something we look into using for the B2B book. Changes to AdWords. Bleeding stopped, budget stabilized around $350 monthly without losing average number of monthly sales. We're stable now. We're tweaking the target CPA, and that will continue. Newest target CPA at $45, trying to maximize sales while minimizing costs. Okay, so that's what this tweaking is doing. There are a lot of other things that we will be doing with AdWords. It's gonna be sort of a never-ending thing that bleeds into like SEO. It's gonna continue going on and on, because we want our competitors also advertise, and we would like to be seen before them as well. So this is something that grows and grows, but for the moment we're focusing on the tweaking. Final point here under AdWords, keep in mind we're working with sensitive numbers now, making small changes, and we can't predict every single thing that each tiny little tweak is going to do. I mean, we can predict it to the point where like it's not going to negatively impact us whatsoever, but what I'm trying to say is if we find one weakness in Google, just one little tweak, it could be a swift home run. Okay, so moving on, organization, and these are just some notes. I'm totally open. I realize, it's just don't feel bad about whatever it is you want to change, throw off the table, or say is nonsense. I don't, you know what I mean? This is just meant to throw out stuff onto the chopping block. Organization, create IT department. May sound silly, but let's look into it. Allows me to separate my desk from everyone else. Sets the precedent that I am to be involved in tech and communication matters. Draws clear lines between what is my direct responsibility and what I'm just simply helping with. Okay, so it's kind of falls, I can't take on a ton of stuff at once, define what it is, and plan the operations that will go into it while simultaneously running the IT department. So if we start looking at yard signs in nice neighborhoods and what exploits we can make there, what elbow room we have there, defining those things while having it under the same umbrella as IT, it just makes it confusing. So this is not about clout, or it's just about setting those lines of division where we can define, what type of problem is this? What type of project is this? Okay, so moving on. One business project at a time. See what I'm saying here? One business project at a time, but IT all falls under my purview. Okay, so IT and web consulting are in the bag. No problems. But business analysis and strategy is new. That's newer to me. I've been studying web consulting and IT for over a decade now. But business analysis and strategy is new. But we can't afford to ignore the development of these skills. They're so ingrained and involved in everything else that I do, even just in the IT department. Google Analytics is the most complex business intelligence software in the world. Digital marketing is becoming less about sleaze and more about analysis. So like ZipRecruiter or Indeed or Bing or all of these different platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all of these different things are less about marketing and IT, and they have a lot of analysis and numbers involved. So that's that there. Continuing on, point 3. So we cannot ignore my being able to help with business specific tasks in the capacities of an analyst. You want to have an analyst. So, you've got an IT guy, you've got an IM guy, internet marketing, and you've got an analyst. Okay? And hopefully we don't get worried, because it was a lot worse a month ago. We had no idea. We were just all over the place. It'd be irresponsible to ignore that I'm an analyst because of the researching, planning, strategizing, development, everything outside of IT. Let's get into an example. A good, for instance, here is setting up the PA, and this is not a funny, just howdy-doody word, setting up the PA process architecture for calculating how many sales come in by phone and from where. Because we've talked about how that information is going. We know that that information is going to be important to us, and we have a few ideas why. But when we really get into the nitty-gritty of setting up the process of how we're going to collect that information and how we're going to utilize that information, especially for the website, that all comes down to analysis and strategy. It's a complex issue. It's not necessarily IT. Okay, so moving on, open to various business schoolings or quick business certifications down the road next year, Q3, Q4. If it crosses your mind, if you want me to get a 2-year degree, I've already got about a year done, or whatever, if it ever crosses your mind. Let me know if you guys want me to pursue credentials. I understand you're grooming something here. Alright, bi-weekly video presentations. So this and this are huge. These things are huge. We're basically setting up how we're going to communicate and work together in the future. And basically, thus far we've done like 6 months of just busting down brick walls. You know what I mean? It's like we didn't have any real form of organization. We had to develop that, and I think we're here. So bi-weekly video presentations. These are pre-recorded. You've seen them. You're looking at one now, only they're just going to get better and better. Bi-weekly video presentations kept under 30 minutes. Will only cover IT projects. New email. I went ahead and locked in this email. If you don't want me to use it, doesn't matter. Just let me know what you want me to do. New email. The Animal Den Director of Communications, storm@gmail.com. I'll get into that in a second. Point 2, can include pre-recorded screen shares, professional audio narrations. I've got high quality professional microphone and studio equipment, so that'll be nice as well. Webcams of the whiteboard and more to make your experience as rich as it can be. And when I get my office environment set up at the new place when I move in about a month or two, I'll have a couple webcams set up. That way, I just want to make those experiences as good as I can. At least just for me, just to put that pride into my work. Okay, newly proposed job title, Director of Communications, aka you can call me. I know even if it's whatever title we come up with to put on paper, we're still gonna have to tell people a bunch of different stuff. We're still gonna have to. I mean, this and this are going to be used all the time. This around the office, this if you're telling somebody some number of something that, some research, hey, my analyst told me that Bing whatever does this and that, and marketing directors, such as when we pulled up to that event. So these are all interchangeable. This is stuff you can just call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. These things are interchangeable and all work just fine. And this could be a stable umbrella. I just looked it up and checked it out. This link here, if you want to type it into your browser, will pull up a video of a gal who explains her job description being director of marketing and communications. And I think that it's very similar to what I do now. Only since we're sort of a smaller team working on things, we fill the gaps, so to speak. Okay, so moving on. IT department projects. Okay. Number 1, AdWords tweaking. Ongoing, long-term, and micromanaged. This means it's a long-term project that I pretty much have to be on top of every day. If not every other day. I have to be on top of this stuff, digging into the numbers, changing stuff around, doing the researching, doing the planning, reading in the blogs, reading in the forums, really digging in deep, reading into Google's troubleshooting documents to see how the different components work together, and basically strategizing for AdWords. Facebook reload. So that is going to be reloaded. It's going to need to be reloaded probably not for another 10 days or so, but that is coming up. Ongoing, will add budget here soon, and micromanaged. There's no rush on adding the budget. We still need to make sure that it's fully monetized. We want to make sure that the traffic is actually going somewhere. You know what I mean? There's no rush on Facebook. We were in such a destitute place with Facebook. Not our content, I don't mean that, but I mean as far as like our engagement and, our people just, I don't know. We've done such a good job in turning around the numbers. It's not, you know what I mean? It is important to throw the budget on, but it's not so important that we need to risk project hopping. Okay, so it's not, you know what I mean? But regardless, still something coming down the pipeline sooner than later. And third is the website. Long term, and that's a heavy load. That's a really heavy load, actually. It's going to be one of the most important things that we do. Future IT projects are really, really important as well, but website's definitely a heavy load. So these 3 things alone, let's just continue on. This is plenty to keep me busy through Q1, especially considering we still will be doing the B2B drops, month 1 of Q1. That is going to be glorious. I'm so excited for that. And let's not worry about that piece of marketing material right now. Let's make sure we're fully calibrated for the new year. Let's just use the rest of the new year to maybe draw up the marketing materials, and just whatever you have to say. Of course, we're going to do that. But, I think that let's just hang out for a second, and we'll do month 1 B2B drops. And we'll have our piece of marketing material will be A1. We'll have taken the time to really strategize about things, and so on and so forth. Let me wrap this up so I'm not talking your ear off. Future IT projects. This is just 3 things. This is not even... Okay, so 1, Google My Business. That shouldn't take so long. That should actually be a pretty lightweight project, but we want to make sure we cross our T's and dot our I's there. 2, other social media platforms. That is actually going to be a really heavy project. That's going to be really heavy and really ongoing. So, we may start that in Q2, but it's gonna take some time, because it's basically going to be like Facebook times 3 or 4. Actually, it's going to be times 4. So, yeah, that's pretty heavy. SEO, extremely heavy. But very powerful. If we outrank everyone, all of our competitors in the search engines for a keyword such as Indianapolis animal boarding, I mean, ranking for all those different terms as number one, we'd have it made. Your doors would be busting down. I mean, think about how many conversions we get that are not AdWords. If it's not AdWords, it's probably SEO. You know what I mean? That is so much, but that is a very, very heavy load and a huge payoff. So that's going to require a lot of different stuff going into it. PBNs and all that good stuff. So, like I said, nothing for you to research or look into. Let's read this last sentence. These are just the tips of the iceberg, and each requires a lot of work, so buckle in. So yeah, nothing for you to research, nothing for you to get into, just setting the precedent so that by EOD Monday, I know I'm organized and I know what I want to have on your desk, what links I want to have. I'll have some of the projects already started and organized in Trello. I'll already have our Slack room made so we can maintain communication. And yeah, okay. So that, and I might even throw in like a conjoined Google Calendar. That way you can see like what my calendar looks like as far as like TAD stuff goes, and then I could put like doctor's appointment at this time then, and this time then. You know what I mean? So I'll go ahead and write that in and save it in my. These are just notes, so there really isn't anything to. No head smoking. Google Calendar. Okay, and so our objective here is before the end of the year. This is all going to be waxed out. We're going to have a whole build of process architecture behind, well, not process architecture, but we're going to have all this architecture behind our communication and how we're going to communicate. How's Will going to be able to see, Google and the website and all the internet numbers at a glance? Boom. How's Will going to be able to see, all the projects and all the notes and comments and where we're at on the projects at a glance? Boom. Where's Will going to be able to just contact me and go to one place in one room to contact me immediately, whether it's by phone or at the computer, Slack? And, how can Will keep tabs on where I am or what I'm doing or what's going on? Google Calendar. You can keep track of when I have my son or when there's a holiday or, something. So, hopefully, I love what I do, and I want to work hard, but like you said, let's take it slow. And just no need to even chew on this, really. Just watch the video and understand by the end of Monday, I will have a list of, 3, 4, 5 links for you to the easy peasy places you need to be so that we can start to collaborate more efficiently. Okay? All right, that's it for this one. And I'm really excited for the changes that we're making. Okay. I'll talk to you soon.